Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faith Blacklights, we take a look at these. And what these are from the Heat Hot Sauce Shop, we have stuff that is meant to go in a grinder. So this is the Caribbean Red Habanero. You can see it's just dried chili flakes for the most part. And this one is smoked habanero. And I don't know what variant of habanero these are. It does seem like it... I don't know if it was orange and the process of smoking it changed it. I don't know if they're reds. You can see these. So I find this kind of interesting because this is actually a lot finer. And so I got these. I figured I did the powders. There's a powder video from Heat Hot Sauce. And I don't ever really see red chili flakes or powders, as a rule, being attempted to be reviewed. So I thought, you know, that could be kind of interesting. Actually, it looks like these are orange. So they're orange and then smoked. These are red. So I don't know if these are Savinas or just red. I would say at the lower levels, the color of the pepper really makes a pretty substantial and stark difference into things. And I would include habaneros in that as well. So anyway, though, I got powders to try a very specific experiment, which will be coming in the weeks ahead. If you stay tuned to the channel, you will see it. Powders didn't act the way I wanted them to, so I thought, okay, well, let's take a look at flakes. And so we got the smoked version here and the Caribbean Red as well. And so I am going to use a little bit of powders in what I'm going to do for that coming up at this point still secret video. So I don't necessarily need to have the peppers be smoked, but this is what I kind of thought of, and then Dylan over there sent me this one. So, all right. So obviously, I'm not going to be putting these in spoons and trying them or anything like that, because that would be, frankly, pretty fucking weird and weirder than I think we want to get here. So instead, what we're going to do is, I think we're going to... What do we normally see, right? We see crushed red peppers. So we see these sort of pizza peppers, or you can make the Diablo pasta if you like to make Italian stuff, the Diablo shrimp or anything like that. So we've got a number of things that wind up in here often. Chile Diablo. We've got the anchos sometimes wind up in here. Calabrians sometimes wind up in here. My guess, it doesn't specify in this, my guess is that these are probably cayenne, if I had to guess, because cayenne is just a ubiquitous pepper. It is always tasty. You can't go wrong with cayenne. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna just dollop pizza. Everybody's familiar with chili flakes on pizza. Certainly, surely everyone is. So, and I don't want to get it too confused here, so I'm gonna, well, apparently they just didn't want me to have any cheese. Look at this. This is pathetic. Like, look, these aren't the dollar they used to be. These are $2 now. These Totino's party pizzas. And I intentionally chose a cheap one just because I want to we want to see how this is going to elevate stuff. So I think what we're going to do, you can't really have these plain. So what we're going to do is we're going to do mushrooms, and we're going to do mushrooms two ways. So one of them will be with the chiles on top. The other one will be with the chilies underneath the mushrooms. And then we're going to have one that doesn't have any mushrooms at all. So I know you're probably wondering how we're going to differentiate which half is which. And it is going to be with these handy dandy toothpicks. So we're going to stake out the middle of this pizza, and then this side over here, what we're going to do is we will throw in a few more so that we know which side is which. So this will be the side I'm shoving these pieces of wood into, will be the smoked side. And the other side will be the, this one, the Caribbean red. Okay, so what's interesting is when I got this box, I could smell these. So I think these are just being actually created by the Heat Hot Sauce shop. So what we're going to do is we're going to, and this is, I want to try to get it as close as I can here to the same amount on both. Okay. Man, that is odoriferous. Definitely getting a sort of a fruity, very spicy vibe just out of the smell of these. So that's about how much we threw on, just to give you context. These are both completely full. So we threw some on. We threw some on. All right, and I gotta do the other side now. This is the smoked habanero, and I can find myself. So you can tell these particles are smaller than the other ones. You can tell right when I opened that up as well. Okay. So hopefully that's as close to half as that'll be pretty good right there. These are definitely closer. The smoked habanero is closer to a powder than is the Caribbean red. So you can see where we fall here at the end. There's slightly more. This is a Caribbean red. There's slightly more in the bag at the conclusion of this. So, all right, let's finish dulling this up. So we're going to have some that are completely without adornment here, as it were. And so this section will be with the peppers under the mushrooms. This is with the peppers on the mushrooms. And the last section will be with no, come here you, with no mushrooms at all. Oh yeah, there's one left. Get that on there too. All right, so we're gonna go. How long do I need here? So this is 11 to 13 minutes, and since we have a pizza stone in there, we'll do that. We'll do 12 minutes on the stone. And then I'm going to let it sit for a little bit to cool off, and then we will reconvene right back here. This smells really, really good. Here, let's take a look. And we're just going to go right along the old toothpick line here. And then let's see, this was the smoke side, right? We're not doing double blind. Kind of need to know what. So there is a third possibility that I failed to mention earlier, which was this is mostly a battle to see which of these I want in my secret project. However, so we have possibilities suggested are this versus this. Okay, so I choose this one, but not this one, or this one, but not this one. The third possibility is that I use both. So we'll see which one, from a flavor perspective, kind of shines through here, I guess, if you will. So I'm going to start with just the plain unadorned. We're starting with the smoked because that was the one I had in my wish list. And if I love wish lists. One of my happiest things is that the heat hot sauce does have a wish list function, and I love it. Heat Nest, I believe, has one as well. I think maybe some other ones do also. Super smart thing to have. All right, anyway, let's try this. So this one adds heat. Not a whole ton of flavor to this point, though. I really don't want to dig out a spoon and try to see how much smoke I can get out of this. I don't know what we'll do. We'll take this last piece here and we'll just pour more on it. I don't want to smell this either because I don't talk about it a whole ton, but I have some allergies and asthma challenges, which, you know, possibly may have come through in some of the other content. And I find myself somewhat prone to sneezing with this stuff. So I gotta be a little judicious. So I can't smell this, but I just loaded up this piece here. Okay. I just didn't use enough somehow. This is good. This is quite nice. It reminds me a little bit of the smoked ghost powder, which I also loved. All right, so let's try. You know what? I'm trying to really encapsulate flavor here. Habanero is not what I would consider particularly hot anymore. It's once you do this a lot, habanero gets to be like candy. Which is also another way, by the way, you can tell when your tolerance is being driven up. When habanero will, like literally, like I said, just kind of seem like candy. So, anyway, that aside, let's try the Caribbean Red. Flavor of that might actually be better. That was quite good. This one does read through a bit more strongly than the smoke does. Well, all right, let's try to keep everything equitable here. I'm going to just dump some more on this last piece also. Easy. Easy. All right. I think I like the smoke better. It's just kind of the way it goes with me. I like fire roasted stuff. I like smoked stuff. It just, it's my inclination. Here, I'll show you here. Get it all layered up. Oh, I dropped a couple. Let's get those too. All right. I do like this. I don't know that I'm going to be using this, so I like this one better so far. All right, well, let's try it with the mushrooms on top of the peppers. And this time, let's start with the Caribbean, since we already have that flavor in our mouth. Lovely. I don't think you go wrong either way. Well, so, wow. So far, this one blends with the ingredients a lot better and a lot more cohesively. Interestingly enough. All right. Oh. Switching over to smoked. You can't really, to a degree, you can't really do that with the higher level peppers. Kind of switch it out with water. Well, in this case, I guess, Mio tea. Oh, wow. That's super nice. Oh, wow. All right. They're about the same as far as heat. Which I will give a good solid, ready, steady, legit one. I would not put it more than that though, I don't think. Okay, so far I've liked it better with mushrooms than just plain, which is normal because Totinos are really boring pizzas. All right, so here we go with the habanero on top of the mushrooms. So one of the things that putting these, if you're going to do this, one of the things about putting the peppers on last is you get a bit of toastiness from them being exposed. So far, this has been the best slice I've had. I love that bit of smokiness, so. So, you say, well, smoking jalapenos to make chipotles will tend to drive up the heat, which is true. So when I said they were similar in heat, both ready, steady, legit ones, why isn't the smoked one hotter? Well, if they started with orange habaneros, those generally are not quite as hot as the red ones to begin with. So that's why I would say that would be the case there. But anytime you're dealing with varietals in general, which is basically every single plant in the world, you are going to have some yields be sweeter or more fuller tasting or whatever than others. Just kind of the way it shakes out. In this case, I don't know what was started with. And I don't, that's kind of we hear a lot of conversation about labs and all this stuff. Nobody is going to do lab stuff generally with a individual or even a bunch of individual particular peppers from a yield, because they can vary within the yield themselves. So, I mean, we have to have somewhat of a measurement, because I think as humans, we like to measure stuff and collect data and whatnot, but we don't necessarily know the context all the time. All right, so this is the Caribbean Red on top of the mushrooms, the last slice here. So, the Caribbean Red is very habanero forward. So if you're one of those people that likes the flavor of habanero, you probably will like this one better. I like this one better, this smoked habanero, because it is less habanero forward. I am not one of those people that particularly enjoys the flavor of habanero. It is more something I've come to terms with. And part of that is just because it is so ubiquitous and inexpensive and relatively easy. The threshold is pretty low to make a good sauce with it. So people use a lot. And you encounter it a lot, and it's the way of things. So I don't find it offensive. It's just not, I don't love it. I don't really hate it either. I used to dislike it. Now I'm just kind of indifferent. Okay, so for me, the smoked habanero flakes are way, way better than the Caribbean Red. For me. Now, I'm not saying they are better. I'm just saying that if you follow this and you find that we have similar tastes, which is, really kind of the point of watching reviews or reading reviews, or that in general, is just to see how your palates line up, then, that might apply to you as well. This one, so they do have little scales on here. This one does have a higher scale than does this one. So that last bite of pizza was the hottest one I had. However, it was sixth. So I had 5 other pieces with habanero. We know habanero is a building pepper. It builds in intensity. Slow burn sort of a thing. So I think this is benefiting. I think these are closer than not in terms of heat. The Caribbean Red is there's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. I will have no issue at all using this up. I might, once my secret project is done, this one I actually probably am just going to continue to use on pizzas. That was super good. This one I might just dump in with the in the shaker, and you know I use those chili flakes among other things to make collard greens when I make those. Sometimes I'll put them in chili, or I'll shake some onto you know, some Italian food. So definitely I have no qualms at all about whipping through both of these. I don't know, these are 1 ounce packs. This is all, I mean, this is weight. Obviously, it's not volume. This is weight. You get quite a lot of this stuff. Like, I don't think this one I might come closer, but I don't know. They'll even finish this before the year is out. There's a lot of stuff here, and I think these are like $5 or $6. So you definitely got a good amount of stuff there, and you could theoretically use this to spike up, say, a sauce if you were inclined to make one. And maybe someday I'll try my hand at that too, but it won't be today. So anyway, yeah, as expected, I like the smoke better. I found this one to be tastier. Heat is about the same. I give it a legit 1. Definitely that. I have a really nice sort of all-around bit of mouth heat. Very, very pleasant. Honestly, I could not be happier with these, both of these. This was, I don't know why it never occurred to me to start playing around with some of the hotter flakes until the winter of 24-25, but it never did. I mean, I'm not really a pod guy, that's probably why, but I am pleased that I did. So yeah, both of these are very nice though. Again, if you like things to be more habanero forward, you could look at the Caribbean Red. And if you like smoky peppers like I do, and you want it to be less habanero forward, then you could take a look at that one. This one, to me, though, is definitely the better flavored of the two, for sure. So we'll just leave it right there. That was the Heat Hot Sauce Company smoked habanero pepper flakes and the Caribbean Red habanero pepper flakes. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.